Hi guys, I'm Charlie Kelly and I'm a sculptor from Surrey in the United Kingdom, and today is the 2nd of November 2025, so great to see you and welcome in. For this video I am changing things up a bit and I have decided to sculpt a creature sculpt. I've chosen to sculpt a creature from the film The Labyrinth. It's one of the Fire Gang puppets, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I wanted more of a challenge, and whereas I've been sculpting very lovely simple seed pod forms, this time around I wanted to do some sculpting that was going to push my skills a bit further. And to do this I wanted to sculpt from a subject that already existed, and so it would make the process a bit more akin to life sculpting, taking measurements from the subject and then making that thing like for like. So that has been absolutely testing me and I am completely loving it. But also I am using a different type of clay. So for this video, for this creature, I've just been using this clay called, this is Plastiline. So this clay is an oil-based clay, and it means that you can capture a lot of detail with this clay, and also you don't need to keep it wet because it's oil. It doesn't dry out and you can reuse it. So I was keen to have a play with this, so it's my first time using this as well. So I'll talk a bit more about that in the video too. To give you a bit of context about the reason why I'm sculpting a creature, back in 2012 I did a degree in technical effects for performance, which is effectively prop making for film and theatre. And on that degree I was learning things like life sculpting, mould making, a lot of the processes that you've seen me use in my previous videos I have been taught on that degree. So I'm effectively reawakening my past training by making this sculpture, and so it was something that it just felt like time, and it felt like a good excuse to work on my skills with a subject matter that I find exciting and fun. And I didn't want to just sculpt straight from a human. I wanted to sculpt from something that was quite fun and interesting looking. So I've chosen one of those puppet sculpts. So let's jump in and I'll talk you through the process of what I'm doing, and you can see some images of the piece that I've been making. All right, let's go. Throughout this project I've been time recording, so I'm noting down the date and the time I start working and the time I finish, because I wanted to know exactly how long this type of sculpture takes for me to make. For reference, I've taken screenshots of the puppet from all angles, and these are pinned to the wall behind the sculpture. And then I've taken measurements from these reference images, scaled the measurements up, and then transferred them to the sculpt using measuring calipers. This is the process that you would use when you were doing any kind of traditional life sculpting. So in this case, I've just applied it to this creature. I began by sculpting the top half of the creature's head, blocking out the form using little pieces of torn off clay. And I started with the top half, so I had access to sculpt the roof of the mouth. For this piece, I've been using this brand of Plastiline clay, which I've just been buying from Amazon. I've gone through a couple of packets of this now, and the way I'm using it is by holding a chunk of it in my hand while I'm working, just to heat it up. It helps it become more malleable so you can apply it to the sculpt. And if you are interested, I'm keeping the sculpt at my head height when I'm sat down by having it propped up on a drill case, and then I've got it on top of a Lazy Susan with a small circular breadboard with a shower attachment holding in the pole for the armature, and it's all held together with that orange D clamp that you see in the background. So when you're using plastiline clay, you're going to want to use various things like a hairdryer. You're going to want to use, the hairdryer will melt the clay and make it more malleable. When I first started filming this video and this sculpt, it was back in September, so it was still quite warm from the summer, and so that clay was really nice and soft to work with. But now we're in November, it's getting colder and it's becoming more rigid. So the type of tools that I've been using are stainless steel tools. I got these very cheaply online, and they've been absolutely brilliant. I'm absolutely thrilled with these tools for use with a clay like plastiline, because you can push and you can manipulate the clay with these without them snapping, basically. So that's a really lovely tool that I've got, but I'll talk you through all the tools that I'm using in the video anyway. So for this, I'm using a silicone shaper tool, very good for smoothing and shaping surfaces. A curved stainless steel tool, also good for pushing and shaping. A ball tool, good for the eye ducts and crevices, good for shaping. A smaller ball tool, good for finer detail like the tear ducts and the eyelids. A serrated edge shaping tool, good for shaping surfaces in small spaces. A larger surface scraper, serrated kidney, and a straight edge kidney, good for smoothing out surfaces. And a trusty loop tool for taking clay out. And the stainless steel smoother tool, really like that one. With this whole sculpting process, as I said at the start, this is brand new to me, using an oil-based clay. So it's been very much trial and error using this. And so what I'm finding is keeping the clay in my palm to keep it warm helps to keep it malleable. And here I'm just sculpting the gum section on the inside of the mouth. So I'm applying small blobs and then smoothing them out using this lovely stainless steel tool. Just forming the shape using that tool and trying to get the surface as smooth as I can. And then I'm using this curved stainless steel tool, which I love as well, which is really great for getting into the nooks and crannies in the back of the mouth. And it's great for smoothing the surface too. In the next video, I think I'm going to be using isopropyl alcohol to smooth the surface of the clay. And that's another thing that you can use to smooth oil-based clay. And I've been using the loop tool as well. When sections have become a bit too chunky, I'm using this loop tool to take sections of clay away. And then to make the clay more malleable where the weather is cold, I've been using this hairdryer to soften up the clay. I have to be really careful with the hairdryer because this has a very low melting point, this clay, so it will start to go glossy and liquidy very quickly. So I'm just really using it to help me smooth out surfaces even further after I've been tooling them. And then, the trusty silicone shapers as well, which are very common in any kind of clay sculpting, but I found them especially useful with using oil-based clay as well. Okay, so as you can probably tell, this is going to be a multi-part project. I'm still sculpting this piece. I'm still figuring out how to make the armature for the pieces. This goblin's got these big ears, so I'm going to be making an armature for those, and I'm going to be sculpting the ears as well. And yeah, I'm going to be making a mold of this piece, so it's gonna take a few processes to do that, so stay tuned and I'll keep you updated on that progress. And if you've got this far in the video, thank you so much for stopping by. I am online. I'm on Instagram at Charlie Kelly Sculpture. And my website is www.charliekellysculpture.com. And yeah, subscribe, comment, like the video, do all the things that you know to do on YouTube, which really helps me out. So thank you again for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.